Discovered, the heartwarming story of a girl's incredible 5-day journey to feed her grandma. Mia stepped outside, the gentle warm breeze brushing against her skin, a reminder that spring was finally on its way. The world around her was painted in inviting colors, from the soft green of the budding leaves to the vibrant tulips blooming in neighbors' yards. But for Mia, one significant truth cast a shadow over this picturesque scene. Her grandmother's health was fading, and their pantry mirrored the unrelenting weight of worry, emptier every day. It felt as if the sidewalks they walked on, smooth and inviting, were now layers of indecisive quicksand. She could feel their hold slipping away, when Mia spotted a flyer fluttering in the wind, the words, "Community Food Drive," scarcely registered as she momentarily lost herself in the hope it held. Could this be the lifeline they desperately needed? Her heart raced. With newfound determination, Mia promised herself to do whatever it took to bring nourishment home. Those first few steps on her adventure filled her with excitement. She could change everything, if only she just kept moving forward, but as days passed, reality sharpened its claws. Hurdles began to loom, each one as daunting as the last. Mia approached one neighbor after another, knocking on doors with the enthusiasm only a 16-year-old driven by love could muster. Yet, many brushed her off, eyes avoiding hers, smiles growing tight. "Not my problem," they seemed to say without words. How could they not see the anxious girl next door, fighting not just for herself, but for the woman who had raised her? Each rejection cut deeper. Amid the cold shoulders, small flickers of warmth emerged. She met Mr. Thompson, a retired veteran from down the street. With every chat, he opened up about his own struggles, sharing stories of resilience and grit, each exchange igniting a bond. "You see, Mia," he said one afternoon, his voice steady, "every challenge builds strength." They became allies on her quest, and she felt the heartrending vulnerability slowly turning into a glimmer of hope. Yet, as the final day of her food drive approached, Mia's initial resolve wavered. Doubts crept in like the shadows creeping across the floor at dusk. "Am I doing enough?" she whispered to herself, tears blurring her vision. Just when it felt utterly hopeless, the universe shifted. An unexpected confrontation with a stocky neighbor, arms crossed, accused Mia of playing the victim. It felt like a punch, and yet, in that moment of discomfort, a wave of strength surged through her. Mia stood taller, words spilling from her heart in a passionate surge about the chains of poverty, about the vulnerability woven into the fabric of their community. Her voice trembled as she shared her fears and dreams, igniting a fire around the crowd before her. Their faces shifted from indifference to attentive concern, her raw courage chiseling away at the walls of misunderstanding. But then, amidst her fervent speech, an unsettling voice broke through, questioning her intentions, demanding proof of her worthiness. Mia's heart raced, uncertainty flooding her mind. Would her community embrace her plea, or would they turn against her? In that moment, everything hung in the balance. Would she rise up to defend her journey, or crumble under the weight of judgment? As she grasped the microphone tighter, her thoughts echoed loud, this was only the beginning. Mia took a deep breath, her chest tightening as she looked into the eyes of those gathered. The weight of their gaze both intimidated and emboldened her. "I understand your doubts," she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I'm not asking for pity. I'm asking for kindness." She felt a ripple of tension in the crowd. The air grew thicker with anticipation. Just then, an older woman with silver hair stepped forward, brow furrowed in concern. "What if this is just another story, in a world full of promises that never come true?" she called out, skepticism draping her words like a heavy blanket. Mia's heart raced again, but this time it was tempered with a pulse of resolve. What if this is the chance to change that?" she replied, her voice rising with urgency. "I'm here because I believe we can rise together. I've watched my grandma struggle, and I've watched a community shrink into silence. But we are stronger as one." A whisper swept through the crowd, and Mia could feel the shift. She noticed Mr. Thompson in the back, nodding slowly, his pride in her visible. But doubt still hung in the air like storm clouds, and questions remained. She took another step, noticing a small girl near the front, holding a crumpled dollar bill. Her innocent eyes captured Mia's attention. Mia walked over to her and knelt down. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Lucy," the girl replied, her voice barely audible. "Mia," she smiled, sensing something powerful stirring within her as a bond formed. "What do you think? Can we help others together?" Lucy nodded, gripping her dollar tighter. "My mom says we should always share what we have," she answered, her small voice filled with conviction. The crowd seemed to mirror Lucy's sentiment as murmurs of agreement buzzed forth, pushing back against the earlier skepticism. Underneath it all, Mia felt an electric current of optimism swaying through the air. "That's right," she said, rising back up, buoyed by the surge of unity. "Every little thing counts. If we share even a little, we shine a light for others. You don't have to give everything. Just a bit of kindness can brighten a life." Suddenly, a familiar figure emerged from the back. It was Mrs. Clark, the feisty librarian known for her sharp tongue and fierce heart. "I've watched you, Mia," she said, crossing her arms defiantly but with warmth dancing in her eyes. "You've shown us all a glimpse of what community can truly be. Count me in." Gasps resounded among the crowd, a wave of motivation surging through them. What started as whispers transformed into a call for action. Mia felt her pulse quicken as more hands raised, more voices chimed in. "I can help with the drive. I'll bake something for everyone. Let us all gather supplies at the park." Mia couldn't believe her ears. Although hopeful feelings replaced the previous tension, fear still lingered. Was this real? Could they really band together? If they could unite, could they defeat the looming shadows of despair that held their lives, and hers, captive? With newfound courage and fiery determination, Mia stepped back behind the microphone. "Let us do this together for all of us. Let this be our moment to shine." As cheers erupted and plans flew around, Mia relished the unity blooming among them. She could almost envision the pantry slowly filling up, the soft smile returning to her grandma's face. But just as the excitement seemed to reach a crescendo, a thought nagged at her. Would this newfound hope withstand the inevitable obstacles inches away? Her heart pounded as she stood at the center of that vibrant community, and for the first time, she pondered whether the fight would be worth it. Could it possibly be more than just a meal for a pair of weary souls? Before she could linger further on the thought, a sudden energy washed over her, cascading her vision into the near unseen horizon. She gripped the microphone tightly, each voice around her stirring echoes of motivation. "Are we ready to change lives?" she shouted, her voice ringing louder than ever, but little did Mia know, her greatest hurdle was still waiting in shadows, stirring uncertainty in the back of her mind. And it loomed ever larger, threatening to spiral everything she had built into chaos. The crowd buzzed with excitement and a newfound sense of purpose. The clamor of voices filled the town square, each person eager to offer their skills, their time, their love. Mia stood there, overwhelmed by the collective energy swirling around her, a warmth blossoming in her chest that felt even more powerful than before. Yet, beneath that warmth, shadows flickered. What if everything they dreamed of doing came crashing down? Mia scanned the crowd, her gaze landing on familiar faces. Mr. Thompson, Mrs. Clark, Lucy. They were brought together by shared struggles, yet Mia knew all too well that bright aspirations could be quickly dimmed by harsh realities. A tight knot formed in her stomach. "Mia!" Someone shouted from the back. She turned to see Tom, the mechanic from down the road, stepping forward. "What's the plan? How can we start?" Mia took a breath, grounding herself. "The best place to begin is by coming together to gather donations. We can set up a drive next Saturday at the park. Each of us can contribute something. Non-perishable food items, clothes, anything that might help our neighbors who are struggling," she explained, her voice steadying with each word. "Great idea. I'll bring canned beans," shouted a woman from the left. "And I can canvass the neighborhood to spread the word," added another, her enthusiasm palpable, the energy surged, cascading through the group like a wave. Plans erupted left and right, and Mia felt buoyed by their spirit. But just as the thought of stepping into this new chapter filled her with joy, a shadow flickered at the edge of her vision. Mia's chest constricted as her mind wandered back to why they were here in the first place. In her excitement, she had almost forgotten about her grandma. What if the stress of the drive fell heavily on Mia's shoulders? What if she couldn't live up to her own expectations? A sudden silence fell over the crowd. A weighty figure stepped forward, bringing the energy of the moment to a standstill. It was Mr. Roberts, the town's mayor, known for his stern demeanor and sharp criticism. He adjusted his glasses, scanning the crowd with a cautious look. "Mia," he began, his voice low but carrying a seriousness that made the air tense, "it's good to see such enthusiasm. But I have to ask, what is your plan for after this?" Mia's heart sank. She had been so focused on the drive, on the immediate help, that she hadn't thought beyond that. What do you mean?" she stammered, confusion clouding her mind. His eyebrows knitted together. "A drive is wonderful, but feeding your grandma for one day won't change the fact that there are systemic issues here," he stated, his tone a mixture of concern and caution. "What will happen when the food from this drive runs out? Have you considered how we'll sustain ourselves beyond that?" Mr. Roberts' words hung in the air like an ominous cloud. She felt her resolve waver, uncertainty gnawing at her heart. She had expected support, a rallying cry of solidarity, but not this harsh, rational reminder of a much larger problem. One by one, the heads in the crowd turned, waiting for Mia's response. What would she say? Did she even have an answer? As her heartbeat quickened, Mia realized the truth of his statement echoed within her. Their actions held more weight than just a single pantry. It was about igniting lasting change, the kind that would break chains instead of just momentarily easing burdens. Taking a deep breath, she stepped forward. "You're right, Mr. Roberts," she paused, her heart racing. "But what if this drive, this unity, opens doors? What if it ignites a spark within all of us to continue this fight after Saturday?" The crowd listened, breaths held, as they hung on her every word. Would they rally around her in this moment of shadow, or would the doubt suffocate them like a thick fog? A tense silence extended, but in that stillness, she could feel the flicker of hope breathing life into despair. What could they achieve if they stood together, not just for one day, but for the future? The energy swelled again, uncertainty still lingering. Like a bittersweet aftertaste. With every ounce of strength she could muster, Mia pressed on, her voice stronger now as she called out, "Together, we could build a foundation that lasts. This is just the beginning." But little did she know, the true challenge lay not just in gathering supplies, but in facing the roots of their community's struggles. As murmurs spread, building confidence and determination, Mia felt both hope and anxiety intertwine. Could their collective spark turn into a flame strong enough to change more than just their immediate needs? The weight of possibility added to the burden she carried. What could really come of their efforts? And as the crowd began to buzz again with ideas, Mia found herself asking, could they truly sustain this momentum, or would they watch their dreams flicker and fade with time? The days leading up to the drive felt like a whirlwind. Mia hardly slept, her mind racing with thoughts of logistics and hopes for the community. Each morning, she woke up before dawn, fueled by the urgency to make a difference. She'd sketch out plans, take notes, and rehearse her speeches. But as much as she prepared, in her heart, she worried, was it enough? On Thursday morning, the sky hung heavy with gray clouds, mirroring the anxious feelings swirling inside her. When Mia arrived at the park that afternoon with her backpack filled with flyers, the sight of Mr. Thompson setting up tables made her stomach flip. He was hanging bright banners, each one adorned with encouraging words, "Together, we rise. And hope starts here." The sight gave her strength, but still, doubt shadowed her thoughts. "Hey, Mia. Look at this." He waved her over. "I got the tables from the school. They'll hold all the donations." Her smile was weak but genuine. "That's great, Mr. Thompson. Thank you. As she glanced around, familiar faces appeared, illuminating the park with an unyielding energy. Mrs. Clark was organizing boxes, Lucy was painting signs, and Tom was hauling in what seemed like an endless supply of canned goods. Yet amid the hustle, a familiar worry crept back in. What if no one showed up? What if they collected everything and still couldn't help? Let us not forget to spread the word more widely, Mia insisted when she overheard Tom speaking with others. I'll go door to door tomorrow morning, and I hope some of you can join me. There's still time to rally more support. Jarred from her thoughts, she caught a sudden chill. Mia knew they were not just fighting for supplies, they were battling the looming shadow of doubt that threatened to consume them all. They spent the rest of the afternoon prepping, and with each passing hour, the excitement grew. People brought food, clothes, and even some handmade items. Children painted cheerful rocks to decorate the area, their laughter breaking through the tension, infusing a sense of unity that was needed. Friday brought clearer skies and a wave of unexpected visitors. Neighbors, who Mia thought would never care, showed up with food, sharing stories that intertwined with hers. They were all tied together in this tapestry of struggle and resilience. Hey, Mia. We brought some blankets. Called out a voice. Molly, a youth group leader. Mia felt a rush of gratitude swell within her. Thank you. This means a lot. As she hugged the blankets, she realized how much momentum had built. Everyone was coming together, and yet, the brief whisper of fear lingered at the edges of her mind. That evening, as the sun set in golden hues, Mia found a quiet moment on a bench at the park. She closed her eyes, inhaling the sweet scent of blooming flowers and grass. It felt like a small victory, but doubt still festered in the back of her thoughts. It wasn't just about gathering supplies. They needed to build something enduring. What would they do next week? Next month? Would they fall back into their old routines once the excitement faded? Suddenly, the echo of Mr. Roberts' words struck her again. What happens when the donations run out? Mia. A voice pulled her back. Lucy rushed toward her, radiating excitement. You should see the photos everyone is taking. This is going to be a big deal. Mia stood, her heart fluttering. We're going to do this, Lucy. The determination ignited in her chest, burning brighter with each heartbeat. We have to keep pushing for change beyond Saturday. The fire of passion surged within her, fueled by the community's spirit. And in that moment, Mia understood the true challenge was not just about the drive, but about forging a pathway forward. As they headed toward the rest of the group, a new question ignited in her mind: what if they could create lasting change? That night, as she lay awake, thoughts churned like a storm inside her. What if each person in their community not only stepped up now but continued to advocate for change? The dream stirred deep in her heart, waiting to unfurl. When the drive finally arrived, would they have the strength to follow through? And when they faced the bigger systemic issues that loomed over them like a dark cloud, would they be ready to fight? Mia's resolve tightened, propelling her closer to the unknown. She sensed they were on the brink of something monumental, a reckoning that could shake their community to its core. She could feel it, the pulse of hope beating strong. But one question remained: would they rise together? Or would the weight of reality drag them back down? Saturday dawned clear and bright, a stark contrast to the heavy tension that had filled Mia's chest for weeks. The park buzzed with anticipation, and as she arrived, her heart fluttered with excitement. Mr. Thompson was already there, directing volunteers like a maestro conducting a symphony. Mia. Over here. He called, waving her over as he flipped through a clipboard. Looks like we're ready to go. The tables were full, each one groaning under the weight of donations. Canned goods, boxes of pasta, packets of diapers, warm blankets, all lined up like gifts waiting to be unwrapped. Mia's eyes sparkled at the sight, her spirits lifted by every can, every item, but a sliver of anxiety lingered. Would it be enough? She joined Lucy and Molly, who were folding tables with swift, practiced movements. Laughter bounced between them like a soundtrack, but as Mia caught their eager glances, she felt the pressure coil tighter in her stomach. "I hope we see some new faces today," Mia said, attempting to mask her nervousness. "You bet we will. Just look at all this." Molly gestured to the growing crowd, a testament to their hard work and a reminder that they weren't alone. "They're coming together for a reason." A chorus of laughter interrupted her thoughts as a group of children delivered boxes brimming with colorful items. "Just imagine the smiles on those faces when they get what they need," Lucy said, beaming. Mia nodded, letting their positivity wash over her. She believed in what they were doing, yet the weight of unanswered questions lingered on her heart like a stubborn fog. Every moment of hope was tainted with the reality of the struggles beyond today. Suddenly, a group of teenagers ambled toward the park, looking uncertain. Mia recognized them immediately. They were the kids from the local high school known for skateboarding and mischief. A wave of anxiety washed over her. Would they just disrupt the day? "Hey, if they want to help, let them," Lucy whispered, catching Mia's fleeting doubts. Tentatively, Mia approached them, her voice steady but curious. "You guys here to help or just hang out?" They exchanged glances, and one boy stepped forward. "We heard about this, thought we should join in." Her heart soared. "That would be awesome. We can use more hands." As they rolled up their sleeves and dove into packing boxes, Mia felt an undeniable shift in energy. They weren't just kids with a reputation anymore, they were part of something bigger. Mia's heart swelled as she watched them work. They didn't fit a mold, but they were eager to contribute. The morning turned into a whirlwind of laughter, chatter, and an impressive stream of donations. By noon, the park was alive with community members, each sharing stories that wove their varied experiences into a collective narrative of resilience. But as lunch approached, Mr. Thompson gathered everyone around for a quick meeting. "All right, folks. We're nearing the halfway point. We can keep our momentum going, but we need all hands on deck." Mia felt the energy shift. There was still time to rally more support, to reach for a deeper impact. "Hey, everyone!" she called out, her voice steady and full of conviction. "Why don't we split into groups after lunch? Some can go door to door to continue the outreach. There's still room for more supplies." Responses rippled through the crowd, excitement sparking. Some heads enthusiastically nodded, while others exchanged hopeful glances. As they broke for lunch, Mia moved among friends and neighbors, soaking in the warmth of their interactions. She spotted Mrs. Clark talking to a newcomer, her hand gesturing animatedly. The spark in her eyes mirrored the enthusiasm that coursed through the park. Feeling intoxicated by the atmosphere, Mia realized this had become more than just collecting donations, it was generations connecting, risk-taking, and pushing against the boundaries of their comfort for a greater cause. They were united, but as the day rolled on, so did the shadows of uncertainty. What if today was a fleeting moment? What would happen when the sun set and the banners were taken down? She stood alone for a moment, breathing in the smells of barbecue and laughter, when the weight of it all crashed down again. What if they couldn't sustain this? Suddenly, a tap on her shoulder jolted her from her thoughts. It was Tom, his face flushed with excitement. "Mia, you've got to see this. A local news crew just showed up." Her heart raced as she turned to follow him. Was this the turning point they needed? A chance to spread their message beyond the park. But as she walked, the same haunting thoughts crept back. Would they be able to channel this energy into something deeper? As she approached the commotion, Mia felt a mix of anticipation and dread tighten in her chest. This was a moment to showcase their efforts, but was it enough to hold the attention needed? The cameras waited. The community held its breath. Would this be the catalyst for lasting change? Or just another passing glimpse? The cameras whirred to life, their bright lights flashing like little stars. Mia's heart raced, a wild drumbeat as she stepped forward, trying to harness her nerves. People around her whispered excitedly, their faces a mix of hope and curiosity. It was a perfect moment, a chance to give a voice to their efforts. "All right, folks, let us show them what we've got." Mr. Thompson clapped his hands, rallying everyone with infectious energy. "Mia, how about you start us off? Tell them why we're here today." Mia swallowed hard, the spotlight suddenly feeling overwhelming. She took a breath, feeling the warmth of supportive smiles around her. She glanced at the teenagers who had joined them earlier, now part of the fabric of the event, their hands busy and spirits high. She drew strength from them, letting that encouragement seep into her voice. "Hi. I'm Mia," she began, the shakiness in her voice fading. "Today, we're not just collecting supplies, we're building a bridge between our community. We believe in supporting each other no matter who you are or where you come from." The camera panned to capture the faces of those gathered, a tapestry of determination and unity. The murmurs and cheers that rippled through the crowd felt like a warm embrace, pushing Mia to share more. "And, anyone can be a part of this just like these amazing kids who stepped up today." She pointed toward the teenagers, and they beamed back at her, a tangible connection sparking in their smiles. "We can do more together. We can keep this momentum going." As she spoke, more volunteers stepped closer, eager to join. The air buzzed with shared ambition, and Mia's words began to flow freely. "We've set up stations for families to come and pick up what they need. And we're still reaching out to get more donations because we want to make sure every person in our community feels supported." Just then, a girl from the crowd shouted, "I got this," and held up a toy she brought. Laughter erupted, breaking the tension. It was light but tangible, a moment of normalcy in their busy day filled with serious undertones. Tom stepped forward, his face flushed with excitement, "And don't forget the food. We're serving meals too, so no one has to go hungry today." The chatter intensified, and Mia felt the energy around her transform. They were building not just a collection drive, but a movement, rooted in laughter and love, a reminder of why they were all gathered. But just as she found her footing, a voice called out from the back of the crowd. "Yeah, but what happens when it's over? What then?" The lingering question hung heavy in the air. Mia's heart sank, feeling the swell of dread return. It was easy to celebrate today, but what would happen next week when the excitement faded? Would they all just go back to their lives, leaving this spark behind? Mia looked at the faces around her, some were filled with hope, while others mirrored her own concern. Before she could lose her nerve, she replied, I don't have all the answers. But I know if we can keep talking, keep connecting, we can figure out the next steps together. This isn't just a one-time deal." But doubt clung to her voice, and she could sense a shift in the crowd. They wanted more. They craved assurance that this would last. The news anchor turned the camera back to the crowd, sensing the tension. And what does this mean for the future of this community? How will they keep this collaboration alive? As Mia met the gaze of the crowd, a new determination flickered within her. They were feeling this too, they wanted more. In that moment of uncertainty, the seeds of something even greater began to sprout. Mia took a step forward, vulnerability palpable in her next words. "Let us make a plan right now. If you care about this, let us brainstorm ideas after the event. Let us build a network." As applause erupted, she sensed the tide shifting. Ideas began to spark like fireworks, igniting a collective energy that promised more than just a single day. But what did a network mean? What could they build together? Mia glanced back at Tom and the others, each of them filled with hope, yet questioning the road ahead. Was this the spark needed to create lasting change, or just the beginning of something that could fall apart as quickly as it grew? The laughter and chatter continued to echo, but deep inside, Mia felt the weight of uncertainty and excitement swirling within her. As she stood there, the illuminating glow of the cameras shining brightly upon her, she knew one thing was certain: it was only just the beginning. What could they truly accomplish together beyond today? Mia stood, flanked by the noise and excitement of the crowd, her heart fluttering with a mix of adrenaline and anxiety. As the voices around her began to merge into a harmonious buzz of ideas, she realized they were ready to take action. It was now or never, the moment was ripe for something bigger. Okay, everyone, she called, her voice gaining strength. Let us split into groups. We can brainstorm ideas for future events, regular meetups, anything that can keep this momentum going. Cheers erupted, and in a flash, groups began to form, faces animated with purpose. Mia felt a rush of warmth. These strangers, bound by their desire to help, were becoming allies. Tom pulled her aside, his eyes alight with enthusiasm. I think we can create a monthly food drive. We could partner with local businesses who might donate food. What do you think? Yes, absolutely. Mia exclaimed. And we could host cooking classes. Teach families simple recipes using donated ingredients. It brings the community together and helps everyone learn. That would be great. We can even invite local chefs to come in and share their skills, he suggested, already gripping his notepad, excitedly jotting down ideas. As laughter and brainstorming filled the air, Mia noticed Emily, one of the teenagers, standing to the side, her expression distant. Without hesitation, Mia walked over, sensing the weight on Emily's shoulders. Hey, Emily. Everything all right? Mia asked gently. Emily looked up, her voice soft. I've been struggling, you know. Sometimes it feels like all these ideas are just too much. What if we can't keep it up? Mia felt her heart clench. She remembered the weight of doubt, and how easy it was to feel overwhelmed. I get that. But think about it, today is just a start. And we all have each other. If we share the load, it won't feel so heavy. We'll figure it out together. Emily's brow furrowed, uncertainty dancing in her eyes. But what if no one shows up next time? What if it just doesn't work? Mia reached out, placing a comforting hand on Emily's arm. What if it does work? What if we bring people together in a way that makes a difference? Even one person matters. The chatter around them faded, and Emily's gaze softened. A small smile broke through, one that held a hint of renewed hope. Okay, maybe you're right, she replied, her voice steadier now. I just want it to mean something. It will, Mia assured her. It's already happening right now. You being here means something. As they trudged back toward the group, the energy seemed to ripple outward. The brainstorming buzz grew louder, filled with laughter and shouts of encouragement. Each person, each idea, was an essential piece of a bigger puzzle that was forming. Suddenly, amidst the excitement, Mia caught sight of a family approaching with a cart overflowing with supplies. A wave of warmth washed over her. Look! She called to Tom and the group. We have more donations coming in. Can you believe it? The crowd erupted into applause, hoisting their arms as if celebrating a victory in a game. But just as quickly as the cheers filled the air, the question from earlier echoed in her mind. What would happen after today? Would this excitement last? Mia took a deep breath, pushing away the anxiety. For now, they were together, and they were making magic happen. As the event continued, she felt her heart swell at the sight of families smiling, sharing stories, and connecting. They weren't just feeding bodies, they were feeding hope. But would that hope be enough to carry them forward? And what if the momentum faltered when the world returned to its usual pace? The thought loomed as the sun began to dip low on the horizon, casting a golden hue over the gathering. What lay ahead in this uncharted territory, and were they ready to face it together? The sun hung low in the sky, painting the scene in warm, golden hues, but the warmth inside Mia was more radiant than the sunset. She watched the crowd, the laughter echoing in her ears, and for a moment, she felt a profound connection with everyone present. But just as quickly, uncertainty crept back. Would this energy be enough to make a lasting change? The crowd was buzzing, but an undercurrent of worry tugged at her heart. She turned back to Emily, who was enthusiastically chatting with some younger kids, laughing as they attempted to stack colorful crates. Mia smiled, but the weight of her earlier conversation settled in the back of her mind. Encouragement was vital. They had to do this together now and in the future. Suddenly, a loud clap brought her attention back to Tom, who had gathered everyone back to the center of the activity. "All right, everyone. Let us pause for just a second." His voice commanded attention amid the playful chaos. As the crowd quieted down, Mia couldn't help but admire the sense of community forming. "Today is a fantastic start," Tom continued, his smile infectious. "We need to think big, but also think small. How can we keep this spirit alive?" Mia stepped forward, her heart pounding. "What about a neighborhood potluck?" she offered. "A chance for everyone to bring their favorite dish and share stories. It could give us a reason to keep talking and planning together." The idea rippled through the crowd. A few murmurs turned into cheers. "That's it," someone called out. "Let us turn this into a monthly thing. We can familiarize ourselves with local resources and help those in need." As excitement built, Mia's heart lifted, but she couldn't shake her fears completely. The event might end, but what if it led to something truly impactful? She had to believe in their collective energy. As thoughts swirled, a voice broke through the organic chaos. "What if we created a community garden?" Emily's tentative suggestion caught Mia off guard. "Imagine a place where we all contribute and learn together. We can grow food, but also grow connections." Mia's heart leaped. "Wow, Emily. That's genius." It felt surreal watching Emily's confidence blossom right before her eyes. The clock ticked on, and with each passing second, ideas snowballed. A cycle of brainstorming, debating, and celebrating began. Names were written down, plans were outlined, and Mia felt the anxiety ebb away. But just as ideas flew through the air, a familiar face appeared. Mr. Thompson, the elderly man from down the street, who always had a kind word and an engaging story. The vibrant momentum shifted as he approached them. "Is this where I sign up to help?" he asked, a twinkle in his eye. Laughter erupted, yet Mia's pulse quickened. Elderly faces had stories to share, wisdom to give, but could they really engage fully? "Absolutely," Tom replied eagerly. "We love your input, Mr. Thompson." As Mr. Thompson joined the circle, Mia felt a thrill of protection rush over her. The old and young, the experienced and the novice all intertwined in a web of community, each thread representing a purpose. But then, from the corner of her eye, she spotted a girl standing alone, her gaze fixed on her phone. A pang of realization hit Mia. What about those who felt disconnected, those not interested in joining the group? The pulse of uncertainty came rushing back. Could they reach out? As the sun dipped below the horizon, Mia felt an urgent call to action brewing deep within her. There was so much more to explore and conquer. They were just scratching the surface, but could she break barriers and create an inclusive space for everyone? With a determined resolve, Mia stepped forward, ready to take the next leap, not entirely sure what lay ahead. What challenges awaited her on this journey to unite her community? Mia's heart thundered in her chest as she pushed through the crowd, her focus locked on the girl immersed in her phone, completely detached from the laughter and excitement swirling around her. The sweet smell of barbecue and fresh lemonade filled the air, but it didn't seem to reach this girl. Mia felt a pang of empathy. Was she being left out? "Hey there!" Mia called out, her voice bright, edging toward excitement, as she approached her. The girl looked up, startled at first, and then quickly dropped her gaze back to her screen. Mia could see the faint outline of earbuds hanging from her ears, a barrier reinforcing her isolation. "Mind if I join you for a sec?" Mia asked, keeping her tone light, inviting. There was a flicker of hesitation, but then the girl reluctantly nodded. Mia knelt beside her, trying to catch a glimpse of the screen. "What are you listening to? Is it a music video?" The girl shrugged, not making any effort to sound enthusiastic about it. "Just something," she mumbled, avoiding eye contact. Mia searched for common ground. "You know, there's a lot of fun happening over there." She gestured back toward the colorful gathering. We're planning a neighborhood potluck, and Emily suggested we start a community garden. I think we could really use perspectives from all ages. The girl shifted, her eyes barely lifting from her phone. I don't know. Sounds lame. But Mia caught the slight crack in her tough demeanor, the tiny hint of curiosity emerging. Lame. Mia teased gently. You haven't even heard the best part yet. Everyone's bringing their favorite dishes, desserts included. We'll have tons of food, games, stories to share. Think of it as a community feast. Finally, the girl looked up, curiosity breaking through her shield. Wait, did you say desserts? What about cake? Mia grinned, seeing the shift. Definitely cake. And if you want, you could join in on picking the theme for the next potluck. Maybe even grow some vegetables for it. We could really use your ideas. The girl hesitated. You really think I could help? Of course. Mia replied, warmth flooding her words. Everyone has something to offer, no matter how small. Plus, you'd be helping us grow something amazing together. And you might meet some pretty cool people. There was a moment of silence as the girl absorbed Mia's words, and the rest of the event faded into a gentle hum around them. Uncertainty lingered in her eyes, but there was also a flicker of hope. Okay, she finally said, taking out her earbuds. I guess it could be fine. A rush of triumph surged through Mia, filling the gaps in her earlier doubts. She exchanged a smile with the girl, whose name she realized she still didn't know. I'm Mia, by the way. I'm Lila, came the shy response, but there was life behind it now, sparking anew. They stood up together, and as they took a few steps toward the energy of the crowd, Mia felt a strong pulse of community forming around her, the warmth of connection beating in rhythm with the laughter and chatter. But just as she was about to dive back into the fray, Tom's voice boomed from the center, drawing the attention back. All right, everybody. We need a plan for that potluck. Who's in? As arms shot up excitedly in response, Mia's heart sank with a new thought. There were still so many people like Lila, hiding in plain sight, uncertain about joining. Could she find a way to encourage the quiet ones to engage? Or would they continue to slip through the cracks? With renewed determination coursing through her veins, Mia glanced at Lila. It was time to build real bridges. The quest had just begun, and the possibilities were endless. What would it take to bring everyone in? The sun bathed the park in golden hues as Mia stood at the heart of the community gathering, her heart both heavy and full. The vibrant energy pulsed around her, laughter, connections being made, and families sharing their hopes for a brighter future. But as the celebration swirled into a whirlwind of activity, Mia felt the quiet voice of doubt creep back in. What if tomorrow arrived, and the buzz faded? With determination in her heart, she stepped forward, raising her voice above the joyful chaos. Hey, everyone! Let us gather around. Her words cut through the excitement like a breeze, and one by one, curious faces turned to her. As silence settled, Mia took a deep breath. Today is just the beginning, she announced, her voice steady despite the weight of her thoughts. We have come together not just for today, but to build something stronger for our community, to make sure that we're not just feeding bodies but feeding dreams. Applause erupted, the kindled energy swirling around her like a warm embrace. Mia felt alive as she continued. As we enjoy this beautiful potluck, I want us to think about where we go from here. How can we keep this spirit alive? A sea of eager faces leaned in closer, each person adding their voice to the ideas being tossed about. Monthly events. Workshops. Community gardens. She sensed it too, their heartbeat matched her own. Each idea sparked excitement in her chest. Suddenly, Lila, the girl Mia had reached out to earlier, stepped forward, a surprising confidence illuminating her eyes. What if we start a monthly check-in? A place where we all come together, not just to bring food, but to share what we're struggling with or what is going well in our lives. Gasps of surprise followed her words, yet Mia felt a thrill. Yes. Lila, that's brilliant. It's like a support system. As many voices began to chip away at the barriers, camaraderie blossomed. Mia's heart soared as she watched Mr. Thompson write down ideas, his decades of wisdom ready to mentor a new generation. Mrs. Clark held a child's hand, encouraging her to pitch in. Every voice matters, let us hear everyone, she urged. But as the excitement unfolded, flickers of doubt still flickered at the edges of Mia's thoughts. She knew this vision for a united community needed structure, sustainability. We need a core group to keep this going, she reflected out loud, feeling vulnerable yet brave. Maybe a committee to organize events and outreach, ensuring we maintain this momentum. Tom, always the enthusiastic voice of support, jumped in. I'm in. I can handle outreach, and maybe even get local businesses involved. Raising her hands in excitement, Mia felt a rush of power. And I'll coordinate activities. Let us make this our mission. This isn't just about food, it's about creating connections, lifting one another up. People began calling out their strengths. I can handle social media. I'll bring my sister who can design flyers. The buzz of excitement reached a thrilling crescendo, and Mia stood taller, her heart swelling. They all felt it, didn't they? The sense of purpose washing over them like a warm tide, the ideas flowed freely, glimmering with promise. It felt like magic. She caught Lila's eye, the shy girl now radiated empowerment, surrounded by people eager to listen. But as Mia glanced at the golden light of the setting sun, she remembered her grandmother's fading health. If they did not build a strong foundation, would it all fade like evening light? Suddenly, a realization swept through her, and Mia declared, let us also talk about the resources we have in the community to ensure we can support each other in any capacity. We can create a directory of professionals who want to volunteer their skills from healthcare assistance to job help. A newfound determination echoed through the crowd, laughter mingling with discussions that felt rich and expansive. As darkness began to settle, warm light strung through trees flickered to life, illuminating the park like twinkling stars. Mia realized the scenery around them wasn't just a backdrop, it was a testament to their resilience. Together, they could face the challenges and sustain their efforts. At the heart of it all, Mia understood the battle was never about one meal or a temporary fix. It was about weaving a safety net for everyone, a reminder that hope is fed not only through food but through connection and compassion. She stood amid her community, and in that moment, they were not just neighbors, they were family. And as they began to outline their ambitious plans under the night sky, Mia finally felt an overwhelming sense of peace wash over her. Their dreams would not be a fleeting memory but a powerful movement. As cheers erupted around her, Mia smiled, knowing that she was no longer alone in this fight. The road ahead may still have uncertainties, but she held a profound understanding of their shared strength. Together, they would rise united, forging not just solutions but a community filled with love, purpose, and endless possibilities. The final words echoed in her heart as she led the charge forward. Are you ready to transform our community together? And with loud cheers, they stepped into the future, leaving behind the shadows of doubt. Now, it was time to shine brighter than ever. Before the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars took its place, she realized this was the legacy they would create together, a beautiful journey full of hope, strength, and endless possibilities. And remember, everyone, it's just the beginning. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Comment your reactions and feelings about this heartwarming ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to subscribe now. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of uplifting this channel through their actions.